Yeah, hey everyone, welcome back to PyNet Labs, and we are back again with the Q&A series, which we are going to conduct on every Sunday 8 p.m. And this time we are going to discuss about a very interesting topic, and it is going to be quite helpful for all the candidates who are looking forward to go for CCNP or CCNA interviews. This is one of a topic which is most of the time widely asked in interviews. So let's begin this Q&A series with the topic today, which is going to be the BGP. So we are going to talk in this Q&A series about BGP. Before discussing the top 10 interview questions from BGP, let's just talk about some briefing which we have to understand for BGP. As you can see, the first point written over here that says BGP stands for Border Gateway Protocol. We all are familiar with this term, Border Gateway Protocol, which is an exterior gateway routing protocol used to make sure that the communication between two different autonomous systems is going to be possible. Now, when we talk about BGP, BGP is not like IGPs. It is just a kind of different protocol, which is like you can say, the second point says it's classified as path vector routing protocol. This path vector behavior is a different thing over here in BGP. It's not like IGPs because BGP is going to use the TCP protocol for establishing and maintaining the neighborships. Unlike OSPF, EIGRP, REP, all these protocols do have automatic neighborship. But over here in BGP, we don't really have automatic neighborship. We have to make sure the neighborship is going to be manually defined. Otherwise, the communication between two different autonomous systems is not really going to be possible. So over here, it's also a metric-less protocol, which doesn't use any kind of metrics, but instead BGP focuses on attributes and policies to make sure the routing decisions and figure out the best path to reach the destination. That's the points over here about the BGP. And the last point written over here is the administrative distance for BGP routes is 20. So in BGP, we have two different administrative distance. One is for IBGP, another one is for EBGP. So it can be classified. Now let's get started with the Q&A series we are going to conduct this Sunday. So let's get started with the question first, which says, which of the following is a characteristic of EBGP, which means an external BGP. We all know in BGP we have two neighborship parameters, IBGP and EBGP. IBGP is for communication internally inside the autonomous system, whereas EBGP is all about making sure the communication between different autonomous systems. So we got four options this side. The first says used for routing within the same AS. Technically not, because if it is for within the same AS, then we are not going to use EBGP. We will prefer using IBGP, right? Second option says runs over an IGP. No, not really. Third says connect routers within the same AS. No. The last option we have, it says connect the routers in different autonomous system. Yes. So the option number D is the correct answer for this question. That EBGP is somewhat which refers to make sure the communication between two different or multiple autonomous systems is possible, where connectivity between different routers is going to be possible. So the correct answer for this question is the option number D. Now we have the second question, which is question number 22, that says, what does the aspath attribute in BGP represents? So when we talk about the aspath attribute in BGP, it actually represents to the sequence of autonomous systems that a route has to traverse to reach a destination network, because it is a very crucial piece of information within BGP used for path selection and loop prevention. So we got four options: path length within the AS, path length between the autonomous systems, route origin information, and administrative distance. So talking about the AS path attributes, the AS path attributes in BGP is going to represent a lot of things, and it do have multiple purpose like loop prevention, path selection, policy controls. But for this question, what exactly it is referring to us, it is saying that what does the AS path attribute will represent? So it is going to represent the length between the autonomous systems. So the correct answer for this question is going to be the option number B. That says the path length between the different autonomous systems. Moving ahead to the next question, which is question number 23. In BGP, what is the role of next hop attribute? Quite important, guys, if you have understood and if you have read about BGP. So we know that in BGP previously, I also mentioned that there are two types of neighborship. One is IBGP, another one is EBGP. Talking about the EBGP, the next hop attribute actually refers to the IP address of the next router or the gateway that is used to reach a particular destination network. So for this side, we got multiple options again, A, B, C, and D. So what do you think, guys, when we talk about the BGP next hop attribute, what's going to be the correct answer? It says specifies the next router in the AS. No, I'm not talking about the router. We said that it refers to the next hop will be the IP address of the next router. So it says second point determines the route origin. No, identifies the exit point from the AS or defines the administrative distance. So nothing to do with option number A, not with B, neither with D. So we can say the option number C is the correct answer. It identifies the exit point from the autonomous system because it's somewhat like you can say the attribute is going to refer the IP address of the next router or the gateway that is used to reach a particular destination network. And it is quite essential in BGP routing because it specifies the next router in which the BGP packet should be forwarded in order to reach the next destination. That's the correct answer for this question, which is option number C, identifies the exit point from the autonomous system. Moving ahead to the next question, which is question number 24. What is the purpose of BGP route aggregation? So talking about the options over here in the route aggregations, it says reducing the BGP table size, increasing the number of BGP routes, enhancing the convergence speed, and improving the security. So nothing to deal up with the security, not with the convergence, and it is also not gonna increase the number of BGP routes. So technically the correct answer for route aggregation is to make sure that we are going to reduce the size of BGP table size, just because we know BGP is a quite scalable protocol which is quite helpful in scenarios where we can make sure that multiple routers can communicate with each other if they are on the same AS, if they are within the multiple different autonomous systems, and it can land up in a very huge size routing table or BGP table will also increase. Accordingly, the routes will increase. So route aggregation is just a process or a kind of technique which helps in BGP to reduce the size of the BGP table size. That's the question number 24. The correct answer is going to be the option number A. Now talking about the question 25th that says, what is the primary function of BGP route reflectors? This question is all about the neighborship parameters and making sure that how we can scale the BGP inside the networks, or if it is about single AS, if it is about multiple AS. Here we have some options: aggregating BGP routes, preventing routing loops, scaling IBGP networks, enhancing BGP security. So route reflectors doesn't have to do anything with the security part. But anyhow, we can say there are two options, possible options, which are correct here, B and C, because routing loops will be avoided as well as it will also scale the IBGP networks. But anyhow, what's going to be the correct answer for this? What do you think, guys, on this one? Yes, guys. So the correct answer for this question is going to be the scaling IBGP networks, because we know that in case if we are looking forward to configure IBGP, we have to make sure that we can't directly advertise the another interfaces which are not really directly connected with the network, which can cause a lot of challenges, and it can make the network more you can say congested, so we can't really afford that in the networks. So this purpose, BGP route reflectors is quietly used for scaling the IBGP networks. And most of the time it is going to be there when we are going to deploy the BGP, especially IBGP internally inside the autonomous system. That's the question we have, which is question number 25. Now back on the question number 26, we have the BGP attribute is used to specify the preferred exit point for the traffic leaving and as an autonomous system. So over here, whenever the BGP traffic is about to leave the AS, what exactly it is going to look forward for? We have already discussed the same thing in our previous question, quite similar to the next hop behavior. So here the correct answer is going to be the next hop, because next hop attribute is just simply going to specify the exit point for the traffic whenever the traffic is going to leave the autonomous system. Otherwise, it is not really going to leave the autonomous system. So that's where the next hop is going to come into the picture. So that's the correct answer for the question number 26, which is BGP next hop. Now, the question number 27, quite easy. The term BGP pairing refers to. You all know what the pairing term means. It is all about the neighborship. So we got some options. Establishing a connection between routers and different AS. Grouping BGP routes? No. Aggregating BGP routes to reduce? No, not really. Updating BGP with the new routes? No. So the correct answer for this question, the BGP pairing refers to establishing a connection between the routers between the different AS. And as I said that in the very first slide, BGP is not about automatic neighborship. It is something like the neighborship needs to be manually defined. Doesn't matter if the neighbors are directly connected or not. We need to make sure that the neighbors are defined with the commands whenever we are making sure that the peering is going to be up with the BGP routers. Otherwise, if you will not do that, your peering is not going to be up. So BGP peering is not automatic, it's manual, where it is about establishing a connection between the routers and in between the different autonomous systems. That's our question number 27. Now, we got some important questions from BGP messages, which says BGP message type is used to acknowledge and receipt of an open message to keep the BGP connection alive. Now, in order to understand this, guys, there are actually four types of messages which are exchanged in BGP to facilitate the routing information and establishment of neighborship. Where the first message is always your open message, which is sent when establishing a BGP session between two routers. It like contains information such as BGP version number or what is the sender BGP router ID, what is the sender ASN, and other parameters. Then the keep alive mechanism, keep alive message is there when it is initialing the establishing of BGP sessions. The routers are simply going to exchange the information in every 60 seconds. And this message is going to contain the BGP peers and verify the neighbor relationship, which is going to make sure that it is still active. So keep alive messages helps in ensuring that the connection remains up and the routers are still reachable. Now the question is saying which BGP message type is used to acknowledge and receipt of an open message to keep the BGP connection alive. So for this one, what do you think, guys? As I have explained you, what do you think the correct answer is going to be? The keep alive, because when the initial establishment of BGP session is done or the routers are exchanging the keep alive messages as a regular interval of usually about every 60 seconds, these messages maintains the connection between the BGP peers and verify the neighbor relationship, it is still active or not, where the keep alive message will ensure that the connection remains up and the routers are reachable. So the keep alive is the correct answer, option number C. We got the question number 29. In the BGP open message, which information is exchanged with the BGP peers? As I said you in the last point as well, that talking about this one, the open message is actually the very first message while establishing a BGP session where two routers are going to make sure that the neighborship is going to be up. And it contains information such as BGP version number, sender router ID, sender ASN number, and various other parameters. So this time we can say here it will be the correct option. As per the options, routing table is not included in the open messages, path information is there, and MED values are depend on the requirement. But see, as per this question, there are multiple options. We will go with the option number A because BGP capabilities and parameters. There are various parameters which comes under BGP open message like sender ASN, sender's router ID, what is the IP address from where the data is coming, and how. So that's the question 29. Then after this one, we got the last question. What is the purpose of BGP notification message? Guys, quite easy. The notification message is sent where there is an error condition. Whenever a router wants to terminate the BGP session, the message informs the peer about the problem encountered, which could range from a configuration error issues with received messages, because after sending a notification message, the BGP session is closed between the routers. So the purpose for BGP notification message is to inform about the errors and terminate the BGP session. As we discussed that once this message is sent out, the BGP session is closed between the routers. So the option number C is going to be the correct answer for this question, guys. And These messages are integral to functioning of this BGP, enabling the routers to establish the connections and exchanging the routing information, maintaining the connectivity, and handle error conditions during the communication. So the continuous exchange of these messages allows BGP routers to adapt the changes in the network topology and update the routing table automatically. So that is the answer, the option number C, to inform about errors and terminate the BGP session. That is it, guys, for this Q&A series. I hope you guys enjoyed. In case if you guys do have any questions, feel free to put your questions on the comment box. We'll answer your queries. So that's all, guys, for this Q&A series. We'll be back again on next Sunday, 8 p.m. as per Indian Standard Time. See you soon, guys. Thank you for joining.